Hi everyone, my name is Yangdup Lama and I'll be your quiz master for the cocktails category. Before I move further, I would like to cite a small little experience that I had many years ago as an amateur bartender way back in 1996 when I was just about a year into bartending. And this was about a guest who used to be a long-staying guest in a hotel. And he was a regular down at the bar almost thrice to four times a week. And his favorite drink was always a Jack and Coke on the rocks. And this particular day, he comes to the bar again and says, "Lama, can you pour me a double Jack and Coke on the rocks? And if you're a good bartender, you will pour me a double Jack and Coke on the rocks." It was a very unusual order because that is not the way Mr. Henderson was usually order his drink. So, I go back to him and say, "Mr. Henderson, could you just repeat your order again?" And he goes, "Lama, pour me a double Jack and Coke on the rocks. And if you're a good bartender, you will pour me a double Jack and Coke on the rocks." It was still a little confusing to me being an amateur bartender. So I go back to him the third time and I say, "Mr. Henderson, once again, if you could just repeat your order, please." And he goes, "Double Jack and Coke on the rocks. And if you're a good bartender, you will pour me a double Jack and Coke on the rocks." So the interesting thing about this particular order was that all three times he actually would go on to say that if you're a good bartender, you will pour me a double Jack and Coke on the rocks. So as most amateur confused bartender, I went to the back area, called up my guru, my trainer in the room and told him that, "Listen, Lawal, Henderson is at the bar and he wants a double Jack and Coke on the rocks. And every time he orders, he tells me, if I'm a good bartender, I'll pour him a double Jack and Coke on the rocks." And Lawal tells me from his room, "Hey Lama, just pour him a double Jack and a single Coke with lots of ice." So I go back to the bar, pour him a double Jack and a single Coke with lots of ice and give it him. Now the important take about this particular incident or this particular episode was that it was all about listening and being able to understand the order really well, because what he wanted was not Coke and Jack. What he actually wanted was Jack and Coke. So this also goes on to say that it's not just about listening, it's also about great presence of mind. And that is something which is key to most professional bartending today.